Hi everybody, I'm your Scottsdale Realtor, Connie Colla, owner of the Connie Colla Group at RETSY, a partner of Forbes Global Properties. Today's question is it better to rent or buy in this current market? So here are 3 questions to ask yourself as you determine which path you want to go. The first question to ask when considering whether to rent or buy a home is, what's your credit score? Now, when a lender looks at the strength of your borrowing power, they're going to look at your credit score, and 720 or above is really where you want to be. Below that is going to hurt you, and you probably won't get as good of a rate. So you want to try to buy when your credit score is healthy, and 720 or above is really where you want to be. Also, it's a good idea to have 6 months worth of living expenses saved. That way, if there's an emergency of some sort, you're covered and you don't jeopardize your mortgage or your rent. The other thing is you probably want about $10,000 for a short move and your closing costs. And then you also want to think about your earnest money that you'd be putting down on a property, and that could be anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 depending on how big of a home you're trying to purchase. But let's say between $5,000 and $10,000 is pretty typical. Okay, the second question you want to ask yourself when considering whether to rent or to buy is, how long am I going to live there? You know, it used to be that people lived in a home for 10 to 12 years, and today that's about 7 to 10 years. So we're moving faster. So if you're going to be someplace for maybe 2 to 3 years, and then you don't know where you're going after that, and you feel like you don't want to buy a house, renting is probably the best option for you. But try to rent where you're actually saving some money on the side every month to put towards that ultimate purchase. Okay? Now, if you're staying longer than 3 years, you probably want to pay your own mortgage rather than that of a landlord. Also, now is a good time to lock in because the interest rates are not so high. So think about that. How long am I going to live someplace? Okay, then the other thing you want to think about with that is that oftentimes people buy a house that's too small. Then they get married, they have kids, and before long they need a bigger house. So if you can afford it now, buy a bigger house than you actually need while the interest rates are low, and that will save you in the long run too. Okay, the third question to ask when considering whether to rent or to buy is, what are my monthly payments? And this is really important because there are a lot of things here that can add up very quickly. Did you know in Maricopa County, rent prices have gone up 52% in the past 3 years? So renting can be astronomically expensive. So that's something to think about. Now, there's a company called Wildfire, and they're an Arizona nonprofit, and they put some math together and basically said if you want a 1-bedroom apartment in Maricopa County today, you're going to need at least $21 an hour in your employment. And then, of course, all of the formulas of how much you should be spending on your home has to be correct as well. So about $21 an hour to be in a 1-bedroom apartment. Meanwhile, on the buyer's side, here are some things to consider for your cash flow. You'll want to look at how much your monthly mortgage is going to be, how about interest and taxes, and you also want to put a little bit of money aside for repairs just in case. You also might have an HOA, so put all of those things in there. Also, insurance, another thing to think about. Okay, then try to put 20% down if you're going to finance a home, because then you don't have to pay mortgage insurance. They want to see about 20% equity, the bank does, before they will take that insurance policy off of your loan. So try to do that. Then the other thing, if you're going to stay in a home, try to lock down the interest rate so that you have it at the lowest rate possible, which is about where we are now, and we do know it'll go up here as the year goes on. Plus, remember at tax time that you want to factor in depreciation, interest, any commissions as well, so that you get those write-offs. Okay, if you have any questions about real estate, or if you own a home right now and you'd like a home valuation just to see where you are, give me a call at 480-599-5058. I'm Connie Colla, your Scottsdale Realtor, and I'm always here to answer your questions. Have a great day.
The Connie Colla Group, opening doors to Arizona.